this particular case, we're going to be utilizing a temporary crown on tooth number 18. So you'd go to your direct crown tooth chart and you would choose the appropriate tooth that fits this particular prepared tooth. In this case, it is coming from the tooth chart, it's tooth number 13. You would take it, go to the mouth, try it in, have the patient close down, making sure you can get the patient into maximum intercuspation. If you can't, what you're going to do is trim the polycarbonate crown shell and take it so that it's adapted, shorter on the walls, wider if you need more room on the interproximal, but you're going to cut the tab off from that particular temporary crown shell to be able to make it fit passively onto the tooth. All right, once we've trimmed and removed the tab from this temporary crown shell, what we do is go back to the patient's mouth and verify that we can get full seating in maximum intercuspation. And at this point is the time that you have to decide whether you're going to use the bisacryl technique or the acrylic technique. In the acrylic technique, you're going to take the trimmed and tab removed polycarbonate crown shell, take it back to the patient, verify that it seats all the way, and then we're going to line it with acrylic. Now in this case, we're going to use a very fast setting acrylic that is provided by Direct Crown, and we will take a pipette and remove some of the monomer, put it into the dappen dish, and start to incorporate the polymer or the powder into the liquid. This material sets up in about 2 minutes and 45 seconds, so you really have to move with it. I'm getting it incorporated in there most of the way at this point in time, get the rest of the monomer in with the liquid in with the powder. You'll see it's starting to get its gel set already. So I'm going to load that into the crown shell. In this technique, you don't have to line the shell with anything other than making sure that you get the acrylic fully filling it. And then you go back to the mouth and seat the acrylic lined crown shell, have the patient bite into full maximum intercuspation, and you're going to be checking the acrylic till it gets into a good solid rubbery stage. And I have some extra on my fingers here that will test it to make sure that it's getting into that rubbery stage. And at that rubbery stage, what we're going to do is remove it from the tooth so that we don't get locked into the interproximal undercuts. There, it's starting to get a fairly good set to it, and I will remove it and then place it back in, and remove it and place it back in. And I'm going to let it sit and harden for a little while. I just removed a little excess material there. Once the line temporary crown shell has set completely, we'll remove it from the tooth. We can see that we have very good adaptation, and we'll take this back to the lab and remove the excesses, get the contours trimmed back to the margins, and go to delivering the temporary restoration. When you return from the lab with the finished and polished restoration, you try it back in the patient's mouth, making sure that all of your margins are nicely adapted, your interproximal contacts are fine. Check the bite, make sure that you can get into full maximum intercuspation, and you would now cement it to place with a good temporary cement.